So before we get to business, I just want to make a quick announcement statement that I think the selectmen, I sent to the selectmen, Mr. Carr, on behalf of the CTA, sent a complaint up to the Elections Enforcement Commission last year regarding the Citizens Guide to the Budget, about myself and the Board of Ed or Superintendent of Schools, regarding how it was done. It wasn't done properly as far as the process, regarding the vote of the Board of Selectmen to approve the funds for the town to spend the money to do it. Wasn't reviewed by the town clerk or participating in the preparation of it by the town clerk, the town attorney, etc., etc. So based on that, the Elections Commission found that I acted inappropriately. Unfortunately, doing my job that we're elected to do, informing the taxpayers of their legal obligations and rights and what they can do. The state found that because we expended town money, or I authorized expending town money without your approval, I'm going to have to write a check to the town for $1,510.15 to reimburse the town for those funds to do the job that we were elected to do, which is inform the public of the budget vote coming up, what's included in the budget, and the process therefore. Don't talk. And I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that. Because that's what we're elected to do. We're elected to put out the actual facts, not the convoluted facts that are put out by the CTA or any other group involved. The actual facts, and those were nothing but the facts. In their decision, they cited the fact that yes, the town clerk wasn't involved in the process, the Board of Selectmen didn't vote to spend the money, and the only other thing they put in was one sentence that they didn't like, that they thought could be leading, which was, as you review the proposed budgets and available information, it should become evident that these budgets represent a responsive and financially prudent spending plan. That's all they found wrong in the text. So, it's cost me money now. It's cost my family money. It's become personal. Okay? I'm a taxpayer too. This could affect, hey, I don't have a lot of money. I have to go into one of my little savings accounts that are, maybe I can retire on someday, whatever, hopefully, take money out of it, and I'm going to have to pay the town back when I get that money. This could come out of my college tuition fund for one of my kids. Braces, who knows? We're not making millions here. And nobody knows. I get paid for this job. And I put my hand up every 2 years to do this job. Nobody knows the time I spend outside of this office volunteering for this community and how many different things I do for this town. Nobody knows the hours I put in away from my family. So I feel like it's a shot for me. My wife is not happy, my family's not happy. And that's the reason you can't get good people to do this job. Good people. Not people with an agenda, good people that have no agenda but the town's best interest. And I consider myself one of those. So you know about it. I'm going to write the town a check. The finance director is going to certify that I wrote the town a check. I'll send it to the Elections Commission, and that'll be it. But I'm not happy. And if the CTA thinks they're doing the town a favor by preventing the residents of the town to actually have the actual information on the budget in front of them, then they're definitely doing the town a disservice. And you need to know that. And that's why it's on the agenda tonight, because thankfully Mr. Carr helped educate us as to how to do it properly. And what you have in front of you has been reviewed by the town attorney, the town clerk, the finance director, and hopefully it'll approve expending the money to just put it out tonight. That's all I have to say. Thank you. Now you can go into your diatribe, which is all bullshit. And I hope it's on videotape.
Willie.
No?
No, yeah.
No.
You know what? You're speaking on, the key word that you used was the word we. We.
It's out of my pocket. There it is. That's money out of my pocket, not yours.
Willie.
Sit down, stop. Let Mr. Carr talk. Don't talk to me. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did bring...
Gloves are off, by the way. Happy days. You're ready.
I did bring for you tonight the state guidelines for spending public funds. Had this been on the agenda a year ago, I would have brought this to you a year ago. That's the way it should have been done. The only way to get enforcement of these regulations is to bring it to the Elections Commission. I'm not going to apologize for that. These regulations are made for a purpose, one of which is that taxpayers' funds to be used for advocating on behalf of a referendum is prohibited and should be prohibited. The taxpayers spend their own money to take the other side of this, and we have hundreds that send us money to fight these high taxes that we have in this town. And you know, I've spent quite a bit of my own money on some of this as well, Mr. Fritz. I don't know whether I've spent $1,500 or not. I probably spent actually quite a bit more. And I've spent a lot of time as well. So I mean, you know, this is not a personal attack. Maybe you take it personally. I mean, I spent a lot of money defending some trumped up charges that you brought against me, and I have never complained about that. I don't hold that against you. You thought you were doing your job, but I had to go out and hire an attorney and spend thousands of dollars to defend on a case that ended up being, they didn't take it they didn't take it to court. They threw it out before the prosecutor threw it out. But I've never complained about that. I've never said anything about you publicly about that. So the gloves have been off for some time. If you're just thinking they're just off now, they've been off for some time. And I'm not quite sure how we ever quite resolve this. Maybe it's never resolved. I mean, maybe this is something where, you know, the two sides on this, those who want to spend money and those who want to restrain spending money, are going to be butting heads. But I'm not going to apologize for that. Anyway, I did bring you the guidelines. I think they're instructive. And it sounds like you are now following those regulations, and that's a good thing.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else, visitors?
Well, I gotta say something. If you do represent the town, you know, and I'm on a chair position with Mr. Carr, and he's very thorough. So if you made a mistake, I mean, can't the people can? Is there against the law for us to donate to
there will be none of that.
No, fund or something like that?
No, there's none of that.
Really? Why should it cost you $1,500? You have kids to feed.
That's okay.
But is that against the law?
I'm not going to give legal advice. Maybe you have attorneys.
I don't even want to.
Is that something that the town could, you know, if we want to contribute?
No, I don't want to get into it. I'm just going to pay the bill. I talked to my wife about it. We discussed it. It's like, all where the money was going to come from. It's not going to affect any, and that's it.
As a private person in business, I pay errors and emission insurance. I'm sure many people do.
We must have it here.
Everybody.
The town can't pay for this.
Because it was an elections violation? Is
It's
that?
personal because I'm the one that authorized spending the money. Even though it was done the year before with the same process, but that doesn't matter.
You see, like an awful lot of money when you're raising a family.
It's okay, it's okay. Anybody else? Now, there's an item on the agenda regarding resignation appointments. Now, if anybody's here to speak about that, I'm not going to let you speak during that part of the agenda. I want you to speak about it now. Okay? This is visitor section. The only individuals we're going to speak to during that part of the agenda are the two people here that are interested in that position. So.
On this subject, are you putting out another flyer this year? Board?
Well, that'll be later.
Oh, that's not the...
It's on the agenda.
That's on the agenda later. Mr. Carr just talked about it. That's not. There's also the resignation and appointment of the potential appointment of the fire marshal. So if anyone wants to talk about that, or the citizens guide at this point, or the fire department bingo at it, go ahead now.
I would just like to thank you for all you have done and continue to do for the town of Clinton, out of the goodness of your heart. I am aware, as many of the selectmen are aware, of the time that you have put in to this town above and beyond the Monday to Friday that they think you're here. And I think it's deplorable that you're personally fined on this issue. And the same complaint was lodged against the superintendent of schools, and there was no fine on his behalf.
What was the reason it was done that way?
They put out their own.
No, what was the reason you did it that way? I'm just curious. The way it was done.
Because the year before, when Bob Kerr was there, the same thing was sent out and never came here for approval or anything. Bob just sent it out as a finance director. And we didn't have a finance director, so I went forward just replicating what Bob did, changing the numbers, changing the dates, making it accurate.
Wouldn't you get council to, I mean, I would think that
They did.
Oh, you got council approval? And they didn't know about?
No, they didn't get council approval. They just took the same sheet, while we were at the wheel, and changed the numbers and so it went out. I'm not sure.
I don't run the town.
That 1,500 cannot be the total cost of
It
that
is.
mailing.
We wrote a check to 1,500, the technique was covered.
There's another $900 for postage.
Yeah, there had to be postage involved.
I didn't find that. So, they fined me at $1,500,
Right.
so.
Well, my comment is, I'm glad things are gonna be done right and move on.
Okay. Citizens Guide to the Budget. We put it out the last 2 years. Broke the law. We've updated based on Elections Commission's ruling. Took the language that they considered to be leading out of it. Town clerk reviewed it, town attorneys reviewed it, finance director, everybody involved. More involved with the board that spent money to put it out.
I'll make that motion.
Discussion on.
Well, I did want to make a couple of observations and points that is, I'm sorry you got whacked with $1,500 because I thought this was a really important and good guide last year.
Hey guys, can you take it outside?
And I think for 2 reasons in particular. The first is, it's just a reminder yet again that we're having the budget referendum on the 13th. And, you know, my mom sometimes is my eyes and ears in the community or a second set. And a lot of the folks where she lives, you know, they get concerned with, well, when are the votes, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't think we could ever give too much public notice about when the votes are. But more importantly, I thought this did a really nice job explaining the budget process, and you know, certainly this proposed guide, I don't think advocates either way. I think what it does is it helps define terms and explains how budgets are created and what they do, and so I think it's a worthwhile investment to set this out. I really think this is a good document.
I don't think anybody would, I'm sorry. I don't think anybody would argue that point at all, Ray. It's not whether this is a benefit or not. This is extremely beneficial.
Oh yeah.
As far as I can tell, the issue with the previous one was that one statement that kind of skewed thinking, and the fact that it just didn't come before the Board of Selectmen. There's no question that this is very valuable. My question is, how do any of these rules apply to the Board of Education's?
Apparently they do, but they have their own money.
Yeah.
And I don't know why the Board of Ed didn't get tagged. No, but they had their own money when they put it out last year. And I don't know why they didn't get tagged.
Not only did they spend $2,500 on it, they spent $3,500 for Shipman and Goodwin to defend it. Shipman and Goodwin argued successfully, I think wrongly, that it was not pending, that it was not technically pending at the time. I'll be happy to send you their decision, which I take great exception to. I mean, the objective here, the objective here is to try to protect the taxpayers from having their money spent to advocate, in essence, against them.
Well,
and this presents.
I don't know whether that's against them.
I think it is. I think particularly when you're advocating, it certainly is. But the taxpayers go to great lengths to present information which the First Selectman thinks is twisted or incorrect or however he characterizes it. But no one's ever really pointed out where there's a flaw in anything that the CTA has done to educate the public about taxes. But anyway, but the point is that they claim it wasn't pending. I think if you read there, it says that it is pending once notice is required. And once the Board of Finance passes it, notice is required. I think the commission has found wrongly in their case, rightly in this case, and I think the fact that they've had two different sets, unless yours was a little bit later than theirs, and maybe they're claiming that it was in a time it was pending for you and it wasn't pending for them. That may be, you know, the technicality.
Yeah. The crux of the decision was that I didn't get approval from the board. And
He got approval from the
I don't know if he got approval.
No, he can't. It has to be come from the legislative body. That means you,
right?
Not the Board of Education. So he didn't follow the same rules.
Except that he spent the $3,500, and basically all I did was have Bennett respond to a couple of questions on the retainer, which took him 5 minutes. So didn't fight it really. We just said this is what happened. This is the timeline. This is what happened. We did it the year before. This is what happened the year before. We did the same thing. Here it is. Here's a document. Did the town clerk review it? No. Did this board vote for it? No. End of story. That was what we said.
I'll also add that if you go back and read a lot of the decisions of the SEEC, if you just say mea culpa, I won't do it anymore, most cases they're going to fine you $50, $100. It's or in many cases they don't find anything.
They wasn't given that effort to them.
But anyway, if you go back and read how most of these things go, I mean, I did ask for the full amount in my complaint, but properly represented, you probably could have gotten off with a mea culpa, but for whatever reason.
That would have cost $1,500.
Well,
No, I don't think so. I think a mea culpa, if you'd gone back and said, you're right, we're wrong, we won't do it again, they probably would have charged you just a nominal fee. I mean, that was
No, I'm saying, did you talk to Bennett or anything like that?
But that was never not.
They never offered you that
Right.
opportunity.
No. So anyway,
Well,
this is where we are.
well, we are a board.
Mhm.
We are a board of 5 selectmen. And the moral of the story is we need to be involved in those decisions.
So do you want to move forward with a motion and a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None abstention, motion carries. All right, thank you.